Have you ever stopped to ponder the profound and revolutionary teaching of Jesus when he said, "Love your enemies"? It's a command that challenges the very core of human nature and pushes us to reevaluate our attitudes and actions towards those we consider adversaries. How do we respond to this teaching? Why did Jesus emphasize the importance of loving our enemies? Let us delve into this transformative message from the Gospel of Matthew chapter 5 and discover the profound wisdom behind these words. We live in a world that often thrives on division, conflict, and animosity. It's a world where enemies are perceived as threats and adversaries to be defeated. But is this the way Christ calls us to live? When Jesus declared, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy,' he highlighted a common human tendency. We naturally gravitate towards loving those who love us and hating those who oppose us. But does this mindset align with the message of love and grace that Jesus brought to the world? In the same breath, Jesus challenged this mindset by saying, "But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." Matthew 5:44. These words turn our conventional thinking upside down. Instead of nurturing hatred for those who stand against us, Jesus encourages us to love them and pray for them. But why should we love our enemies? What is the significance of such a radical departure from our natural inclinations? 1. Reflecting God's nature. At the heart of this teaching is the idea that we are called to reflect the nature of God, who loves all, even the unlovable. But love your enemies and do good and lend, expecting nothing in return, and your reward will be great, and you will be sons of the Most High, for he is kind to the ungrateful and the evil. Luke 6:35. 2. Breaking the cycle of hatred. By choosing love over hatred, we break the cycle of retaliation and vengeance. Our acts of love can inspire change in the hearts of our enemies and foster reconciliation. 3. Transforming hearts. Our love can have a transformative effect on our enemies. When we respond to hostility with kindness, we create an opportunity for change in their hearts. Proverbs 25:21-22 tells us, "If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink." 4. Peace and personal growth. The act of loving our enemies brings inner peace and growth. It frees us from the burden of bitterness and resentment, allowing us to experience the fullness of Christ's grace. Loving our enemies is undeniably challenging. It calls for self-sacrifice, humility, and the willingness to endure hardship. Yet, it is a command that holds the power to transform our lives and our world. In practical terms, how can we live out this teaching? 1. Pray for your enemies. Prayer is a powerful tool to soften our hearts and intercede for those who oppose us. It also allows us to see our enemies as individuals with their own struggles and pains. 2. Practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is at the heart of loving our enemies. Let go of grudges and release the desire for revenge. 3. Show kindness. Actively seek opportunities to show kindness and grace to those who may not reciprocate it. Small acts of love can have a profound impact. 4. Set boundaries. Loving your enemies does not mean subjecting yourself to harm or abuse. It is essential to maintain healthy boundaries while seeking reconciliation. In conclusion, loving our enemies is not easy, but it is a divine command that challenges us to embrace a higher standard of love, one that mirrors the love of God. It is through this radical love that we can be transformed and transform the world around us. As we navigate the challenging path of loving our enemies, let us remember the words of Romans 12:21. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. By doing so, we allow God's love to triumph over hatred, and we become instruments of His peace and reconciliation in a world that sorely needs it.